Across Texas, the issue is.
I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas.
I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
And I'm Greg Grugan in Houston, and this is Texas, the issue is.
San Antonio State Senator Roland Gutierrez jumped in the U.S. Senate race, pitting him against Dallas Congressman Colin Allred in the Democratic primary. I talked to Gutierrez about his message for Texans.
What made you say you need to jump in and run to challenge, hopefully, Ted Cruz?
After a lot of reflection on what's going on in our state, I mean, we're just broken. We're broken as a state, we're broken as a nation, and we're broken because of people like Ted Cruz that don't really want to solve the problems that are facing us every day. They would rather, pick on people on the margins, talk about immigration as the seminal problem of what's facing in America.
How do you separate yourself? Well, first you have to win a primary. You're challenging Dallas Congressman Colin Allred. What separates you from him or whoever jumps into this race?
Well, Stephen, I've worked all my life in my public life, my private life. I've employed people. I have a proven track record for the last 20 years in public office of getting big things done. Making sure, for instance, we passed the National Center for Warrior Resiliency, which treats veterans with opioid addiction. We were able to pass, with some Republican opposition, the Farmer Suicide Prevention Act, which Sid Miller said saved 60 lives last year.
So how do you make it known that Uvalde or gun reform is not the only thing that you'll be fighting for Texans for in Congress?
The governor's office failed them. The attorney general's office failed them. They didn't have communications. Law enforcement failed. There was no ambulatory services to speak of. Government is broken. And when you start peeling away at what's going on, there's a bargain that happens when you and I go pay our taxes. We pay our taxes to be able to get the goods and services of government, make sure that we have working law enforcement, working streets and sidewalks and bridges and so on, healthcare systems that work, grids that work, electrical grids. There's been way too much failure in Texas, and that failure is at the hands of the Republicans like Ted Cruz that have refused to acknowledge it or to do anything to fix it. All Texans, Democrats and Republicans, we deserve more.
Do you think the Biden administration has done enough on the border?
I think the people need to also not buy into the rhetoric. The fact is we deport thousands of people every day. They come, they try to check themselves in, or they cross the border illegally and they get deported. Many that same day. I think that we have a long road to go on that, but we need to be truthful with people. We have a broken immigration system. We have many jobs in hospitality and restaurants that need that foreign labor force. Some construction companies, certainly our ranchers and our farmers, want to be able to fix the H-2A visa program. We have to be very truthful about it, but most importantly, we have to be truthful with Americans to say that that immigrant that's crossing that river today isn't responsible for your poor healthcare decisions or your poor education outcomes or your poor infrastructure outcomes that we have. The people that are responsible in Texas are the ones that have been in charge for the last 30 years, and that's the Republican Party.
Do you think President Biden can hurt Democrats in Texas when it comes to Democrats trying to do something they haven't done in decades, winning a statewide race?
Well, listen, first and foremost, I'm running against Ted Cruz, and I'm running my own race against him. But listen, I think that the president has been steadfast. I mean, he has dealt with an economy that he adopted from this last guy. And he's stabilized those things. He's got us back on track and in the right direction. And good things don't happen overnight. They take time.
Rudy Koski, how would you sum up that interview?
Stephen, my word for that is identity.
All right. Greg Grugan, what about you?
Stephen, I'm going to go with sincere.
I'm happy you guys followed the rules with one word. The Fox Texas Trio will be back after this break to discuss more. And the Texas Trio is back. State Senator Roland Gutierrez against Dallas Congressman Colin Allred. That's what it looks like the primary will be. Rudy Koski, you get the first dab at it. Our friend Mark Jones from Rice University told me that it appears Allred possibly has an early edge because of his appeal to possibly bring over moderate Democrats or even frustrated Republicans. Do you agree with that?
I think Mark's assessment for now is correct because both are not, very well known across the state. The perception that Allred is a better moderate candidate, I don't believe will last very long, and that tag will probably not be a factor in the primary. Remember, like Texas Republicans, Democrat candidates in Texas have to play to the party base to get on that November ballot. And that base certainly is not moderate in Texas. Both will eventually have to go beyond bashing Cruz and show why they are loyal to their party. Now, that could result in some flip-flopping campaigning for both candidates involving their voting records. For example, Gutierrez in the Texas Senate and Allred in Congress voted against legislation called Protect Women's Sports involving transgender athletes. Gutierrez voted against SB 14, which bans gender reassignment procedures on children. And while in Congress, Allred voted against the Parental Bill of Rights Act. Those may be gold stars for their primary voters, but they're hot button issues that Cruz can use to divert from the gun control issue that's coming up in the general election. Stephen?
Greg, does Colin Allred have an early edge?
Stephen, other than announcing first and a head start in fundraising, I really don't think Allred has anything you'd consider a significant advantage. Both of these guys are more or less unknown quantities to voters in much of the state and face the hefty and very expensive job of building name ID and a brand. Remember, Democrat Beto O'Rourke spent more than $70 million in a statewide run last year and still got crushed by 11. And while Cruz has more detractors than Greg Abbott, I can't see either of these Democratic challengers raising even $30 million, especially when they are competing against each other for progressive dollars. Stephen, you gave Gutierrez multiple opportunities to tell us why he's better than Allred, and he declined. Clearly, that can't continue.
Rudy, shifting gears a bit, Gutierrez became very popular statewide and somewhat nationally after the tragedy in Uvalde. Does he run the risk of being a singular issue candidate?
Boy, Stephen, I hate to say this, but Grugan really knocked that one out of the park. He hit it right on the head, that nail. Senator Gutierrez certainly is a one-issue candidate right now and has an identity crisis, which is why identity is my word for that interview. He's trying to expand his message. Let's give him that, which is why his opening announcement video hit on other issues like the power grid. But I think the grid is a campaign miss, a big miss, and will not help him get over the top. And his defense of Biden, of the Biden administration during the interview, wow, that's not going to help him win any kind of votes outside of blue counties like Travis.
And the Ted Cruz campaign basically said that both candidates are going to be duking it out to see who's the most, in the Cruz campaign's words, radical left Democrat candidate is. Whoever comes out of this primary, Greg, you have the last word on this. Will they appear as a weaker candidate from possibly beating each other up in the primary?
First of all, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Rudy on everything. I think that's highly likely. Contested primaries are expensive and often politically brutal. And with the incumbency near universal name ID and a built-in red state advantage, Ted Cruz could mostly ignore whoever emerges as his Democratic challenger and run a campaign mostly aimed at Joe Biden in 2024. That strategy may not deliver a double-digit margin, but either of these Democratic challengers are going to need much, much more than Cruz's likability deficit to reach 50% plus one in a general election. The hard fact is, for the past quarter century, the political roadside in Texas is littered with current and former Democratic Texas senators and congressmen who've tried and failed to crack the GOP stranglehold on statewide office. Do either of you really believe the landscape has significantly changed?
All right, and
maybe.
I said last word, but I'm going to let y'all do this. In the way too early poll, what do you think? Who do you think emerges as the Democrat nominee, Rudy and Greg? Allred or Gutierrez?
Go ahead, Rudy.
Candidate number 3, the unknown yet.
Look, Stephen, in the last major election, something like 21% of the voters were Hispanic, 14% were African American. 40% of those Hispanics voted Republican. So I have no idea who's going to win this thing.
All right, that's all the time we have. To see this episode or any of our other ones, go to our station YouTube channels.
And I promise not to agree with Greg next week. Keep the conversation going on social media.
And we will see you next week for another hot Texas political topic. In the meantime, be sure to let us know what you think the issue is.